lone assassin, Lee Harvey Oswald. In fact, according to the government sources, that I was not involved in the deal. It was before my time. I'm only 54 years old. But anyway, what happened was James Files was the guy that actually was the trigger man that actually got the shot that got him. And he was proud of that fact and told it out to all the government agents and operatives and all the people that he met and got in contact with it. In fact, he even bit, I was told by him and by other persons, that he bit the end of the shell casing and set it on top of the fence post as a grassy knoll of the bullet that he fired to show that he did it. But now, last I heard about the guy, he's in Marion Penitentiary and has had all his, some deal that he did get caught on that he might have done or might not have done, but he's had all his teeth removed where they can't trace it back to the shell casing that got President Kennedy. So there's a whole lot of things that are going on, but if you remember the Kennedy incident, you'll remember, okay, allegedly the Warren Commission says that there's a lone assassin, Lee Harvey Oswald did it, and then Jack Ruby, a good friend of the police and government officials and so forth, is running some kind of strip club. Anyway, he goes right into the police station, zaps him on national TV in front of God and everybody, and then all of a sudden he's in a cell and he decides to talk to people, and then all of a sudden he decides that he comes down with a case of cancer that kills him really, really quickly. But I'm saying the government has the technology and the scientists and the wherewithal now that they can do things that people, and if you can make it look like an accident, like my good friend Kathy Ferguson of Trooper Gate, Danny Ferguson's estranged wife. Okay, she was a nurse, but she was working as a receptionist at Memorial Hospital. Nurses, she was an ex-beauty contest winner when she was young. She was in all kind of beauty contests, a really beautiful, wonderful young lady. She went to a non-denominational charismatic church after she broke up with Danny Ferguson of Trooper Gate. But the government in Clinton and the Secret Service, Terry Edwards, United States Secret Service agent, they knew that she knew way too much. So what they did, they assassinated her. But the way they did it, she never owned a firearm in her life, and she was right-handed. She allegedly shot herself in the back, left-hand side of the head, and killed herself. And people that are beauty contest winners don't shoot themselves in the head, and people that are nurses, they got the key to the medicine cabinet. They usually do a drug overdose most of the time. So when the United States Secret Service over here in the Stevens building in Little Rock, after that happened, they were not sure, the agents over there in the building, they knew it was a hit, but they didn't know who did it, and they didn't know whether the CIA, FBI, ATF, Secret Service, or who or which agent or agency did it, but they knew it was done. And I was one of the people they interviewed for 6 hours over there in interrogation to see if I was involved in it. And I told them she was a good friend of mine, but no, I had no reason to do it. I didn't owe Clinton any favors. In fact, I've done too many favors for him, and I didn't owe him any favors. He owed me a few things that he never delivered on, which was not uncommon for him. And I even knew his half-brother, Roger Cassidy Clinton, but we called him Butch Cassidy, the cocaine cowboy, was a nickname we had for him because he was involved in all the drug trafficking that Clinton was in. In fact, I've been told that Clinton has had rhinostomies, has had his nose, when he said he fell down the stairway in Florida, he didn't fall down the stairway. He had an implant put in his nose to help it out because his nose was collapsing from doing too much cocaine. And if you look at the statues of him and stuff, his nose and even the shape of it has changed since then. But I'm saying a lot of people have a lot of problems and stuff, and Clinton had more problems than most, and he was involved in a lot of corruption. And if you get on the internet and get into the Clinton Chronicles, you'll see that a lot of the people that were allegedly, as he friends even, died mysterious deaths and strange deaths that went uninvestigated, basically, and they were actually murdered, and people knew that they were murdered. In fact, one of the guys who was writing the Clinton Chronicles, I can't think of his name, he had an Italian name, he lived in California, and anyway, he was writing an article about the boys on the railroad track out toward Benton, and when he did that, he named a few names of some of the Benton policemen, and they sued him for naming the name of a few of the Benton policemen and so forth. And the deal is, they got a lawsuit against him and tried to sue him, but those people are not Benton policemen anymore. I think they're Little Rock policemen now. And my youngest son, because I went forward, well, I was unsuccessful, and after I was unsuccessful in getting Pastor Alamo on some kind of gun charge because he was not into firearms. So you can't get someone, well, you can get people in firearms. I can personally state that I was forced to frame 3 people that I can prove that I framed, the United States government. If I hadn't framed them, I wouldn't be talking to you now. I would be dead. But they were on the government list because Mike Esch was the person they wanted to do the Oklahoma bombing. And he figured out what was going on. He was a little smarter than they wanted him to be. He was a gunsmith and a really sharp guy, but he didn't fall for the deal, so he ended up going to prison. I think he went to prison in Oklahoma, but I'm not sure. I saw his mother not too long ago at a meeting and apologized to her for what I was forced to do to her son, because she said it ruined it, started crying when she met me, and said it ruined the young man's life because he's married and had a kid and stuff. But I've repented since then. I've joined the church and got saved and tried to straighten up, got married and tried to settle down and stuff since I've quit working for the United States government. And my youngest son has been framed for murder. There's no body, no weapon, no blood, no hair, no forensic evidence, no eyewitness. He's been down 7 calendar years now doing life without. And because I didn't cooperate and I was unsuccessful in a few missions, and because I decided that I was not going to go after people like Pastor Alamo and just totally frame them, or if I couldn't frame them, assassinate them or kill them in some way, or help some agency to kill or assassinate them just because of their political views, and just because they said some of the government leaders are not doing things that are right for the people of the United States. In this country, you should be allowed a freedom of religion and freedom of speech, which allegedly we are allowed to have, but we really do not have. Because if you say the wrong thing against the wrong person, you get put on a list, and all of a sudden you have all kind of tragic things, have accidents. I got on somebody's list. I don't know whether it was another agency or who it was, but I've had a number of attempts made on my life, and I know for a fact that there are various government agencies. In fact, one IRS agent told me to pray for him, and he said he was still had bad. He hoped that God would forgive him. He's praying to God forgive him for what he did to Pastor Alamo. And he told me that he knew for a fact Pastor Alamo was framed up on the tax thief. But I'm sure Pastor Alamo, and a lot of people know that by now. And this guy that's working for the Drug Warfare Center, going around killing people in the United States and worldwide, he enjoys his job. And he's an average-looking guy and does it really well. But I'm saying it's unfortunate that I can't get him saved, to get him straightened up, or get him to talk to Pastor Alamo and understand who God and Yeshua is and who Jesus Christ is, and get straight with God and find out who the Savior is and get his life straight and try to repent and quit these things. There are too many people that are willing, in these latter days, there are too many people that are willing to sell out to government agencies and people for money and favors and all these kind of things. And it's very, very unfortunate. That's one of the things that brought down the Roman Empire. And 3 weeks before the Oklahoma bombing, I wrote letters to many, many people about the Oklahoma bombing and talked to Special Agent Terry Edwards and told him I had a bad feeling about it. I've been involved in this thing. I know it's going to happen and go down, and you're not going to stop it. And he swore to me that it was going to be stopped. We met at McDonald's here in No Little Rock at Indian Hills, and he swore to me that it was going to stop, that they were going to let him make the bomb be manufactured and delivered, but they were going to bust the people before the bomb went off. If you look at a seismic reading that day, you'll notice there's the explosive train. There's a primary that goes off and sets off the secondary. But it's very unfortunate that we're in a times like this where people can do things, kill people, murder people, slander people, do all kind of evil things to people, and get away with it in the name of doing the greater good for the government of the United States. And sometimes some of these agents, I call them United Snakes, and I'm willing to take a polygraph test about the information that I'm giving you right now with your people or with the police or FBI or anybody that wants to give me one, because you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free, as Pastor Alamo has quoted before. And these people are afraid of the truth. Just like it when you come to a really run-down home or something, and you open the door and turn a light on, you see the roaches running. They try to flee from the light to get into the darkness and the shade and hide and so forth. And there's too many agencies and agents of the United States government that are doing too many evil things and have to hide under the cover of their bureaucracy and of the Securities Act and so forth to try to hide all these evil things they're doing. But little by little, Pastor Alamo and these other